Hey guys, as many of you already know, I'm sick. Now the channel is actually on more than a 2-year streak of a weekly upload. You can imagine during that time, I've been ill. I can't remember ever having more than a day or two out of the office if I really needed it. But whatever this is a whole different story. And unfortunately, this is now my 7th day of not being able to do barely anything. So, to help me out, you guys have sent in some really good questions actually, which I'm going to be answering in today's video, and hopefully clearing up some grey areas that you had when it comes to glasses. And before we start answering questions, the main thing I want to say is that I'm really sorry to everyone who's scheduled an appointment with me. Some people have been waiting a month for an appointment with me, and then to have it cancelled, that sucks, and that really hurts me to have to do it. And if there was any way that I could physically be at the store, I would. Likewise to anyone who's waiting on an order that's been delayed, or an inquiry that we've not got back to you on. We've got 2 of the team members who have the same thing. So that's been a big hit on our relatively small team. So I'm very sorry for any issues that this causes, and please bear with us while we catch up, which we will be doing as soon as we're physically capable of. But with that out of the way, hi, I'm Robert, Style and Vision Consultant at the Spectacle Factory. It's my job to pair you with your perfect pair of glasses. And maybe one of these questions will be the one stumbling block that you had on the route to your perfect pair of glasses. Hopefully this video is going to make the process of choosing glasses a little bit easier for you by clearing up things that you weren't sure on. Let's start with Raymond's question, who is asking about wearable tech, smart glasses, etc. I think we're definitely reaching the era of wearable technology in terms of eyewear. Whilst the Apple Pro is one that we've covered already on this channel, and I think is a big part of that, I just think a bigger and more impressive part of that is the Wayfarer Meta sunglasses. If you haven't seen these things, they have, I'm pretty sure they have 2 cameras. They might actually just have 1 camera, but they've got a camera, and you can use it to film things as you're moving around. That's the kind of basic utility. But because it's got AI integration, there is a whole another world to explore with it. For example, someone who's blind could be wearing those glasses. They could walk around in an outdoor environment. They could ask the AI assistant, what does the scene around me look like? And it will actually describe it to you. That's just one use case, but I can imagine there are going to be lots. And I like Ray-Ban as a brand. I just not the biggest fan of the company that owns Ray-Ban. But here, you have to give Ray-Ban absolutely huge credit for innovation. I think they've changed the way that people are perceiving wearable tech and definitely made it cool. And we've already started working on a few pairs of Ray-Ban Wayfarer Meta sunglasses with custom tints, which has been fun, because I can see these things being really popular. Coming back to the Vision Pro, because let's not forget that, in a way, obviously that's the more advanced technology, because that's taking the whole augmented reality or even virtual reality experience and really packaging it in a consumer-friendly product. I'm aiming to be one of the first in the UK to get our hands on a physical device and review it on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, make sure you are subscribed and make sure notifications are on. But that looks like genuinely exciting to me. And I think augmented reality in particular is the future. Seeing the real world but overlaid with information. If that's what the Apple Pro does and does well, Raymond, I'm really looking forward to it. If you really loved a particular model, would you ever consider duplicate pairs with different tints? Well, sometimes you find a frame that is just you in every way, in colour, material, size, shape. Just everything about it is just you, a reflection of your identity. And in that case, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having the same frame, maybe in different colours, but not necessarily if it's a neutral colour, with different lenses. So you could easily, for example, I'm pretty sure, Sam, you've got the Gast Mappy, if I remember rightly. So if you had the Gast Mappy with an adaptive sun lens, a photofusion lens, and like a tinted lens, they are all distinct from each other and all cool based on the same frame chassis essentially. And you could have one in black, one in crystal, one in tortoiseshell. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Would I ever consider it personally? No, I like variety in both my frames and my lenses. And I'm careful not to get stuck in the rut of feeling like only one frame suits me, because that is a very dangerous place to be when it comes to eyewear, because then it's a vicious cycle, and the more you wear it, the more you feel like that is the only style that you can wear. And there's never just one style for anybody. But, like I said, if you have a frame that you love and you know it works and you want that to be your look, why not customise it with a few different tints, like you suggested. Next one is Paolo. Robert, thank you for years of entertainment. Oh, you're welcome. Hope you have a speedy recovery. I appreciate that. Me too. I've literally never been ill for this long before. What would you say is a safe and sane amount of glasses? So I showcased my whole collection in our last video, obviously. And I think, did we talk about maybe about 30 pairs or something? I think that's about a ballpark. But my collection doesn't by any means feel complete at all. And I actually don't spend any time thinking about my eyewear collection or choosing glasses for myself, believe it or not. I spend all of my time doing that for other people. And the only time I get a new pair of glasses is when I need to test something, review it. That's kind of how I've built my collection over time. But if I was to actually sit back and think, how could I change my glasses collection? There's definitely at least 5 pairs that I would put in there. So I don't necessarily think there is a limit on how much is a sane amount of glasses to have. But you couldn't argue that anyone needs more than, say, 10 pairs of glasses. I think you could cover so many bases with 10 pairs of glasses. You could even go down to 5 and say, no, I don't think you could actually. I think 10, you could cover like pretty much everything. And beyond that is a little bit of vanity, but why not? If you're into glasses and they make you feel excited to wear them, why not have multiple pairs? Even if you wear one pair once a year, it's still exciting for that one time per year, right? So I don't necessarily think there is a sane amount of glasses, but you could probably not justify more than 10, logically. I think you should look at your collection, you should think, how many of these have I worn in the last year? And if you've not worn them for more than a year, I'd look at giving them to charity, and I would cut down that way. But if they're pairs that you do actually wear, there's no limit on how many you can have. The next question is from Gengata. He's asking me about Pugnali, Leskin Ludnetier, and Kamimanen. Always struggle to say that. So Pugnali is cool. It's pretty out there. It's on that borderline, like I said, Kubaran was recently. Pugnali is in that same space, in my opinion, and way over the top for me, my personal taste, but they seem really nice, and I actually do know the distributor for them, so I'm hoping to get a few Pugnali frames on the channel to actually review physically. Leska Lunetier, I have no experience with, I'm sorry. Kamimanen, I don't have experience with, but I do think they look really good. Sorry, that's all I can tell you. I'd be super interested in how you found your niche and were able to grow your brand. Okay, interesting. So, I didn't look for a niche, and I also didn't look for success or popularity. I'm extremely passionate about what I do. I love what I do, and I think a pair of glasses, to some people it's just a pair of glasses, right? And I get that. But when you wear a pair of glasses, it affects every moment that you see, every moment of your life, number one. And number two, it affects how you look all the time to everybody you meet. So whilst some people, including a lot of opticians, sadly, think it's just a pair of glasses, it's actually somebody's life. And as soon as that clicked in my mind, I was like, this is what I want to do forever. This is my way of having a big positive impact on people's lives. I always just speak honestly, authentically. I don't focus on brands that are going to be the most commercial, that are going to make us the most money. I don't focus on brands that would get us the most popularity. I focus on the glasses that I think are cool and that I think benefit the people who wear them, whether that's stylistically or functionally. So I didn't really find a niche, and I would still say we don't have a niche. I mean, we've got 38,000 subscribers. It's minuscule, and that's fine, because I know that despite that, there are still hundreds, thousands of people that benefit from the advice that we give. But I saw an awesome interview from an awesome person, Rick Rubin, recently, as a music producer. Rick Rubin was saying that when you make art for yourself, that is always instantly more powerful than art you've tried to make for other people, to impress other people. And you can always tell, and I think you can always tell when you listen to a song, whether it was made out of the pure love for the music or made just to make money. It's true in everything that you do. You should always do it because it's what you think is right, it's what you want to do, hopefully for good reasons. and the rest will follow on from that. I believe that's true, and I believe it's true in your job as well. John Graff, does mirror coating colour matter apart from aesthetics? Very slightly, like a tiny bit. You've got to think, if you're seeing a colour on somebody's lens, so let's say it's a blue mirror, that's because it's reflecting blue light. So obviously if you reflect a certain colour, that is slightly changing the colour perception because it's affecting what colours are coming through the lens. But in practical terms, I mean, we're talking a few percent, if that. So it's pretty negligible, and I wouldn't choose the coating colour really based on functionality. I think it's more of a style thing. Would it be possible to have a downloadable schematic showing what combinations you can have? I get asked for things like this a lot. I think the answer is no, because just because there are like an infinite almost amount of combinations, you can take any colour you can imagine, any amount of that colour, so it can be 1% tint, 10, 15, 100%, well maybe not 100%, but you know, anything from like 0 to 99% you can have as a level of tint. You can almost always add a photochromic to that. You can add, you know, mirrors and flashes. I think it genuinely would be an infinite combination of options. So I much prefer to approach it as like, what do you want to achieve? And let's do what we can to make that happen. You know, imagine what kind of lens colour you would like, and let's do it. But what I would say as well is, too many people want to combine everything into one lens, and it gets silly. They're like, I want a tint, I want a photochromic, I want a flash coating, I want them to be polarised. You get so much more pleasure and enjoyment out of having a tinted pair, a photochromic pair, a mirrored polarised pair, and that allows you to be creative with the frame choices as well. So I don't know, it's not for me to tell you what to do, because you know, you have good taste in glasses, and if you want something, I'll do my best to make it happen. But maybe people, I think a bit of advice I'll give is to maybe show a little bit of restraint when you're customising lenses, not try to pack everything into one. If you tried to design a car that was good for, you know, off-roading, day-to-day driving, and track use, it would be a crap car. And sometimes that can happen if you try to make one pair of glasses do too much. Any idea for Lowbridge acetate glasses? Okay, so I'm assuming you're asking this because you've got an Asian style bridge, and whilst that can make it more difficult to choose acetate frames, and I get that, I'm white, obviously. That doesn't necessarily mean that I have the same nose as every other white person. And it's the same with Asian fittings. I deal with a lot of Asian clients, a lot of African clients, a lot of clients from all demographics. And you could make generalizations, but not enough to say this frame will be good for all people with an Asian bridge, for example. Now that's where getting personal advice from a good optician is crucial. You know, book a consultation with me, or find a good optician local to you and ask their advice, and they will tell you what frames will fit you perfectly. Because yeah, it's just very specific, but there always will be an acetate frame that will fit your bridge. I'm absolutely certain of it. So don't give up hope, but find the right person to work with, and I'm sure that they will help you achieve what you want to achieve. Do I think lenses could get any thinner in high prescriptions? So one of the big mysteries of my career is that all the time I've been doing this, no one has made thinner plastic lenses. Yeah, you got 1.76 material, which is like, I don't know, like 1% thinner than 1.74, which is irrelevant. But I really would have thought by now we'd have like 1.8 index plastic, for example, and we don't. So I think there must be some physical limitation there. There must be, because otherwise some brand would have brought it out and they would have dominated the market with it, because everyone would want the thinnest plastic. Now, do bear in mind that the thinnest glass is still extremely thin, and if you go for like a 1.9 index glass lens, that's going to be like 20-25% thinner than a 1.74 plastic lens. And so many people disregard glass. So I'm wondering, when you're asking for thinner lenses, have you actually considered glass as an option? Would love to know your perspective on what the trends will be in 2024. Again, I've not done enough travelling yet to figure that out. I think the overarching trend in eyewear is individualisation, whether that's in frame selection or lens design. What I mean by that is that I can look back 5 years ago and certain styles of frame were in fashion, and then maybe the next year would be a different style of frame. Now, pretty much everything is in fashion, and that's where people are now open to almost choosing any style of glasses that reflects their personality. And same with lenses. You know, people want lenses that are more tuned to their lifestyle, like Smart Life are tuned to a modern digital lifestyle, for example. I heard there will be a newer version of Photofusion X. How long should I wait for the new generation? Well, put it this way. The gap between Photofusion and Photofusion X was roughly 10 years. So I can't imagine that the next generation is going to be here anytime soon, sorry to say. Regarding Cartier Rimless frames, is it possible to personalise the lens shape to any specific design you have in mind? Yes. Not just with Cartier, but any rimless glasses, you can always put any lens shape that you can dream of into the frame. And that's part of the absolute fun and creativity designing your own pair of custom rimless glasses, whether that's Cartier or otherwise. What brands do you have to repair the most, and which are the most marked up? So, I mean, we don't mark up certain products more than others in our store, but in terms of the UK market that I'm aware of, that would be Specsavers frames, which are, I think, really heavily marked up, I believe. But in terms of what we have to repair the most, number one by far is Ray-Ban, and it's partly because they are the biggest eyewear brand in the world, and it's partly because they are trash. Tom Ford is a big one. Those hinges fail on them all the time now. And the acetate cracks a lot too. And then thirdly, in fact this might even be ahead of Tom Ford, is Silhouette. Because those Silhouette rimless where they have like a one-piece design here, it always fails. Someone's going to come out of the woodwork and be like, I've had a Silhouette frame for 10 years and it's never broken. Okay, so a thing I often have to explain to people, I don't understand why I have to explain, that's your sample size of one person. I'm talking about a sample size of thousands, tens of thousands of clients that I've met in my career. Just because you got lucky with a frame, just because you had a specific experience with a frame, it's irrelevant to the general rule. Can you advise me what to use for cream care for buffalo horn frame if it didn't come with the purchase of the frame? No, I'm really sorry, because I've only ever used buffalo horn care cream that actually came with the frame, and I'm really sorry that I can't answer that for you. We might have some spare though. Maybe drop us an email and we'll see if we can get some sent out to you. I'd love to know more about your visiting from afar program. Okay, so obviously we get people travelling to visit our store from not just all over the UK, but all over Europe, sometimes America, sometimes the Far East as well. And if you decide to make that journey, we are extremely grateful, and we're going to make sure you have an amazing experience. So, as part of that, we have partnered with a local luxury hotel. It's actually situated just a few minutes from where I grew up. It's a beautiful area, it's high up on a hill, you have a gorgeous view, and the rooms are lovely, it has its own spa, it's just a nice place to be. And the concept is that if you're coming to build an eyewear wardrobe with us, you know, either driving for 4 or 5 hours or having a flight, I don't want you to have to do that, do the glasses and get back. It's too stressful, and it's not the right frame of mind to be engaging in that process. So the idea is that you make the journey, you chill at the hotel, you enjoy yourself and you relax, you come to us in the morning feeling refreshed, and we spend all day choosing your new glasses together. And then you travel home, and then we ship your glasses out to you when they're ready. So that's the visiting from afar program. It was my idea, and a lot of clients take us up on it. Probably one a week we have using that service, but there's so much more room for it to grow. We should have a person every day using it, I think. It's upsetting to me that people think it's not worth a day out of their life to sort out their glasses, which they're going to then use for 1,000 days. I just can't get that. I can't understand someone not wanting to make that journey if it's in any way feasible. At least in the UK, you know, if you have to take a flight, I can understand that's a lot of drama, especially when we can send the glasses out to you anyway. But yeah, you should come visit. What my thoughts on Cubits frames and sunglasses, pretty good. In terms of that kind of end of the market, you know, you can't expect them to be great, but they are good. They are good for the price. They're probably the best of that category, in my opinion. I'm looking to change the lens on one of my Jacqueline Marge Enzo sunglasses, and I want the most transparent lens available. Any advice? Glass as complete transparency. complete light transmission. It's incredible actually. And yeah, if you want the clearest lens, the most transparent lens, you need a glass lens, and we'd love to install them for you. How do you think leather glasses should be cared for? So leather, like, you don't need to do that much to it. Leather glasses, I haven't done any servicing to my leather glasses. Just, yeah, let it just age gracefully on its own. I don't think you need to care for them in any specific way. Maybe just avoid like soaking them in water, and maybe avoid wearing them if you're going to be sweating. But that's it. What's the allure behind a premium brand frames? Is it purely style, or does quality increase significantly over generic brands? Yes and no. Now, if I recommend a premium brand, it's because the quality reflects the price, or the price reflects the quality. And that's why it's so important for people to be educated, because actually a lot of the premium frame brands are just a name. You're just paying for the status of having that name on your face, which is, for me, not at all what glasses are about whatsoever. Sometimes the cost of a pair of glasses is how difficult they were to design, so there can be a stylistic element to the price, because, you know, if you're a designer, it takes you a month to come up with a frame style. Of course, naturally that should cost more. People, when they're looking at the value of something, they often weigh up the cost of the materials versus the price that they pay. And I think that's a very inappropriate way to look at the cost of an item, because you know, a masterpiece like the Mona Lisa, if you actually look at the material cost of that item, it's probably not very high. But of course, as we all know, the Mona Lisa is a priceless item. So with glasses, sometimes you are just paying for the design of that pair of glasses. It's like with Reykjavik eyes. Do you know how much prototyping, how much energy, how much time, how much going back to the drawing board, how much like reinventing of the whole process of manufacturing did it take to get to that end product? It took Gunnar like, what, 10 years, I think, nearly to achieve the pinnacle of Reykjavik eyes. It's not fair that you only would pay for the raw materials of the titanium, which are, you know, let's be honest, not going to be that expensive. You're paying a little bit for the materials, you're paying a lot for the manufacturing process, and you're paying sometimes a lot for the actual design of that item. And I think that's absolutely as it should be. So I think that's it. Somehow got through all of those questions, and now I'm going to go have a long lie down. One last thing I want to mention before I go, because it is right behind me, is in my house I have a collection of Spectre magazine, which is one of the best ways to find out about eyewear. And it's also like very inspiring. You can just flick through this, you can almost turn to any page and get awesome eyewear styles. Now, I'm not sponsored by Spectre at all. There's no affiliation between us. I just wanted to give them a shout out because their publication is, for me, the best eyewear publication on the planet. So if you can subscribe to it, I would strongly recommend it. Since I'm at home, I thought it was a good chance to just showcase something that is something I have around the house. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys are all doing a little bit better than I am at the moment. If you enjoyed this content, give us a like and subscribe to the channel for more of the best eyewear content on the internet. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks guys. Bye bye.